Before we start, guys, our new Faded Culture capes are out now at fadedculture.co. Alright, what's going on, Faded Culture? It's Sergio Barron, and we're back again with another haircut tutorial. Today I got my boy Esco here, and I'm going to be giving him a skin fade with a slight trim on top. And I'm going to show y'all step by step how I do that process. So with that being said, let's just jump right into this tutorial. Okay guys, so first I'm going to start by wetting the hair so it can be easier to section. And first I'm going to start by pulling out my profile section about 2 fingers in width along down the middle so we can determine the length and the shape that we will create on the top. And here's where you will determine the length of the hair that you will trim away. And here for this haircut, I wanted the front a little longer, and the back I will start by just placing 2 fingers from the base of the scalp, and that's all that I will trim away on top. But as I move forward along down towards the front of the hair, you'll see that I start slanting my fingers upward so that we can leave a little more length towards the front so that he has more hair on the front to comb over to the side. So again, you'll see that I start slanting my fingers towards the front as I lift my 2 fingers up higher. That way we can maintain a little more length towards the fringe area. So here in the front, you'll see that I'm barely even trimming anything, as like I said, I just want to keep it longer in the front. And now that that profile section is cut out, now all we got to do is match everything to that profile section. So I'll start from the front, and then I will lift up my first section, and then I will just trim everything away to match the middle section. Towards the front, you'll see that it's barely trimming anything because we initially were just trying to leave it longer in the front. But as we reach the back, you'll see that we start doing a little more trimming so that we can have it a little more shorter towards the back. And then once you're done going down the middle, you're going to repeat the same steps, coming up, starting again on the front left side, and then working your way to the back of the head. And then once you're done with that part, you're going to do the exact same thing, but moving on along down the right side of his head. And just a quick reminder, guys, all these steps will be left down in the description for y'all, so I can go ahead and feel free and follow them in written format. And now, like I said, we're going to repeat the exact same process on the right side. Again, guys, just moving back a small section at a time and just matching up everything to that middle profile section that we had cut out at the beginning. And now that everything on top is well trimmed and even, we're going to go ahead and blow dry everything nice and dry so we can start doing our clipper work. And now moving forward, I'm going to just go ahead and trim this side of his natural part down to a number 2. So I'm going to just throw on that number 2 guard with the lever closed and proceed with trimming this side of his part. And now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that lever to a 2.5 just so that I can connect that number 2 guard to the rest of the side length of the back of the head. And now I'm going to just go ahead and find that temple peak area of his forehead, and with my clipper lever closed down to a true 0, I'm going to go ahead and start laying down my first initial guideline. So with a soft, smooth motion, I'm going to just take that line down towards the back, slanting a little bit towards the back. And then I'm going to just start in the same position on the right side, and then I'll just make sure that both lines meet at the same spot at the back. So next I'm going to just open the lever all the way to lay down my next guideline. For this next guideline, I'm going to come up about a 1/2 inch high above the previous one, and I'm going to just make sure that it runs parallel to the previous one as well. Next, I'm going to throw on the number 1 guard, still keeping that lever all the way open, and then I'm going to come up about another 1/2 inch above the previous line. And really quick, guys, all the tools that we do use in our videos will be linked down in the description for y'all. And now moving forward, I'm gonna grab my number 2 guard, still with that lever open all the way to a 2.5, and lay down our next guideline. And since the left side of his part was a number 2, we didn't need to lay it down in that area, so I just went ahead and laid it down on the back side and the right side of his head. And same as before, guys, we're only coming up about another 1/2 inch. I know on the right side of his head he previously had like an undercut going on, so we're gonna go ahead and try to connect it as much as possible. So starting from the back, I'm just pulling a small section at a time and then pulling out my fingers in a vertical manner, and then just trimming away any excess hair that sticks out or that I pull out, so that we can try and blend the side length to the top without having that little disconnection show as much. And so now here we're basically just left with our 3 guidelines that need to be blended out. We'll start by blending out the uppermost guideline that you see here, and then work our way down. For this one, I'm gonna use the 1.5 clip, and I'm gonna close that lever here to about 3/4. And all that is the lever positioned in between the lever open halfway and all the way. And then I'm gonna just start attacking that top guideline using more so the corners of the clipper so that I can get in there in a more detailed manner and start trying to blend it out as much as possible. I noticed that it didn't completely take it out at 3/4, so then I opened the lever all the way just to help me completely erase that top guideline as smooth as possible. You'll notice that you'll need to do that with haircuts. I mean, with certain haircuts here and there. With some you'll be able to take it out with just the lever open to 3/4, but some you may need to open it or close it a little here and there depending on how dense their hair is. And then we'll just proceed with closing it back to that 3/4 position again, and then just move forward along doing the same thing on the back side, taking out that line as well. And again here you'll see that I opened it again to help me finish taking it out completely. And we're going to repeat that process around his whole head until we take out that uppermost guideline completely. So now that that uppermost guideline is gone, now we're going to focus on taking out this middle guideline. For this one, we're going to start with that half clip on that 3/4 position, and then whatever it don't take out, we'll come back after with that 1 guard to that 3/4 position to finish taking it out. So it is going to take 2 guards to completely take out this middle section. So first, I'm going to just come in with it open to 3/4 with this half guard, and then just the same way like before, just using the corners of the clipper in a detailed manner, trying to blend out this middle guideline as much as possible without taking it too high. So whatever dark areas that you create above what you're blending, just we'll come back in a little bit and take it out with that 1 guard. So as you see here, we have these dark areas left behind. So I'm gonna come in with my 1 guard, still with that lever on that 3/4 position, and then I'm gonna just continue blending out any little dark areas that I see that were left behind, and then just blend them out as smooth as possible. And again, guys, if you feel like you need to open or close that lever from that 3/4 position to blend out your lines a little more easier, then go ahead and do so. Every haircut is going to differ depending on the type of haircut that person has. But the lever open to that 3/4 position is always a great starting point. So now we're left with that last guideline. It's going to take 3 lever positions to completely blend it out. So first starting with the clipper lever closed, then open halfway, and then open all the way, gradually opening it up as you move up on that last guideline. So here you see that I start with the clipper lever closed all the way, and then I'm gonna just start blending out as much as I can with this lever position. And remember to only stay there where you initially start and not try and chase the guideline higher and higher with this lever position. Then we'll just open that lever halfway and then continue blending on that line, coming up a tad bit higher than previously. And then to finish, I'm gonna just open the lever all the way and then just finish connecting that last guideline completely into the fade. And if you feel like there were still some dark areas left above, don't continue chasing it with this lever position, because then you will end up taking the fade up too high. Right now at the end, once we take out the whole line around the whole head, we'll come back and do our touch-up work and continue blending out any little dark areas that were left behind. So again guys, doing the exact same steps from the left side of his head. Now on the back, we're going to do it the same way, starting with that clipper lever closed, and then open it halfway, and then open it all the way, gradually moving up a tad bit at a time until we blend out that last guideline completely. And then just moving forward, we're going to repeat the exact same steps on the right side of his head to finish taking out this last guideline. And if y'all feel like these steps are a little bit too confusing, then go ahead and let me know where exactly you are confused down in the comments, and I'll see how I can better explain myself. And now, like I said, I still feel like there were some dark areas here and there. So I came in with my half guard open to that 3rd quarter position. And all I did is went around the whole head and looked for any little dark areas or inconsistencies that I saw in the fade. And then just quickly detailed them out using the corners of the clipper so that we can achieve the smoothest blend that we can. Also after that, what I did is grab my thinning shears, and then just to better blend out any of that bulk that we had seen left behind, because he did have that undercut going on before, I just grabbed a little small section at a time and then just thinned out that area so that it can better blend in from the side to the top of the head. And now moving forward to take out the bottom of the hair, I will start by first taking out the top part of the bottom of the hair, and as I do that, you'll see that I just blend it right into the fade so that I don't create any lines as I'm taking it out. I start by taking out the top part of the bottom hair first, since it kind of helps me leave a bolder guideline on top, so that when I take out the rest of the bottom of the hair, we leave a faint little line so that it can serve as a guideline to show us how high to come up with our electric shaver. You'll see what I'm talking about right here. And next, we're just going to use our electric shaver and then just skin out the bottom of the hair. And like I said before, we're just going to shave up until that little faint line so that we don't create any hard lines into the fade. And to better help you not create hard lines as you get into the fade, just make sure that you release pressure on this electric shaver as you reach that little faint line so that you don't shave too deep. And now before I start lining up the forehead area, I will spray a little bit of spritz just so that we can blow dry and lock the hair into place before I come in and set in my hard lines with my trimmer. So first I will lay down my first vertical bar, and then I will just try to connect that vertical bar coming straight across his forehead as much as possible until I meet the opposite side of his forehead, and just connect that vertical line as well. And once it's laid down as straight as possible, I will then apply a little bit of shaving gel so that we can shave a little more with ease. And then when I grab my straight razor, first I will shave everything down, and then I will shave against my hard lines a little bit. And then everything else I will just shave against the grain so that we can get a much deeper shave and a longer lasting shave. And from here, while I'm at it, I like to kind of go over the sides of his head, especially behind the ears, just to shave away any little loose hairs that you might have left behind. And now this part is optional. If you do decide to use enhancements, I used half kiss, half water in a portable air gun, and then just lightly apply some enhancements just to help that edge up pop a little harder. And then to style this haircut, I applied some gel on a comb, and then I just combed it into his head. And then I just styled it in a comb over manner just to finish off this haircut. So really quick guys, here's the before in case y'all forgot what he looked like before the end result. And now here's the after. I hope y'all guys enjoyed this tutorial on this comb over skin fade and were able to take some tips home with y'all. If y'all did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let me know what y'all thought about it down in the comment section below. Also let me know what other haircuts y'all like us to go over on this channel. Again guys, my name is Sergio Barron, this is Faded Culture, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.